A very good evening, ma'am. I am J. Muhammad Hani from CSCB section, and my topic for the presentation is the summary of power of intrapersonal communication. So, the outline of the presentation consists of knowing and understanding of the term power of intrapersonal communication. Why is it important? How is it different from interpersonal communication? And what is self-reflection and self-awareness? Self-expression and decision making? What is problem solving and emotional regulation? How is it influencing the workplace productivity? And how to cultivate ultimately it in our daily life? And finally, we will have conclusion. So, to understand about the terms of power of intrapersonal communication, we have the synonym of the word intrapersonal. Intrapersonal is nothing communicating with oneself. It is occurring within the individual mind or self. This is in a sentence like intrapersonal thinkers, Leonardo worked hard to improve all aspects of himself. So this is like thinking on our own without discussing with others, thinking within oneself. This is called as intrapersonal. Communication is a well-known word that is exchange of information between whatever by writing, speaking, or using any other medium. And so usage in a sentence is communication was difficult as she spoke no English. So here exchange of information was difficult as she spoke no English. We could not communicate because she had no English. This is about the sentence. And combinedly, what is intrapersonal communication? It is a process of communication within oneself. It's an internal dialogue that occurs within person's mind. It is a self-talk process that helps individual to understand their thoughts, emotions, and behavior. This is about the term intrapersonal communication. And the author says power of intrapersonal communication. And further, we'll learn what is a power. And so, how is it important? Why is it important? Experts have found that positive interpersonal communication helps us feel better physically or mentally, which can contribute to better performances at work. So the experts are saying intrapersonal communication is important. So because it feels us better, it makes us feel better physically and also mentally. And so we have like any other skill, we can take intentional steps to improve our intrapersonal communication. We can also develop like a skill. See, initially we don't have, if we don't have interpersonal communication, then it's no need to worry. We can learn as well. We can develop this skill by some following some intentional steps to improve this. And it also helps us to explore possibilities of life and discover potential. With intrapersonal communication, we will be able to determine our potential. And it enables you to recognize the various strengths, weaknesses, and motivations that make up who you are as an individual. It also makes us, what they're saying is, it also makes us to identify what is our strength and what is weakness and motivations. And also, next point is it increases self awareness about our values and beliefs. We also become more aware of our emotions and feelings. With intrapersonal communication, we'll also know what kind of emotions and feelings we do have. And how is it different from interpersonal communication? Let us have a glimpse on this. Intrapersonal communication, interpersonal communication. Communication within oneself is intra, between two or more is inter, and self-reflection and dialogue is intra, and verbal and non-verbal interaction between people is interpersonal. Solitary process in this in single process between it is associated with intrapersonal communication, and here it is social interactive process when it comes to interpersonal communication. And this is all about interpersonal intrapersonal communication is about internal thoughts, emotions, and self-analysis. And here it is exchange of ideas, information, and emotions is considered to be interpersonal. So self-awareness and self-expression come under intrapersonal, while building relationships and understanding others comes under interpersonal communication. And the examples fall under intrapersonal is self-talk, thinking, and reflection. And when it comes to interpersonal communication, the conversations, discussions, and negotiations, all of this fall under interpersonal communication. So thus we have known how intrapersonal communication is different from interpersonal communication. And moving on, what is self-reflection and how is it related to the intrapersonal communication? So intrapersonal communication enables us to reflect on our actions and decisions. So self-reflection is nothing but whatever we are thinking, it is that is intrapersonal communication. We reflect it on our actions and decisions, and it also helps us to find out strengths and weaknesses. Through self reflection we can make positive changes in our life. And coming to self awareness, Intrapersonal communication helps us to become more aware of our emotions, reactions. It promotes, in the sense, self-awareness is nothing but we become more aware of our emotions and what type of reactions we get to our brain to do. This is all about self awareness, and it also promotes mindfulness and enables us to manage our emotions effectively. Eventually, it enables us to manage our emotions also, and self awareness leads to better self control and improved relations with others. This self awareness is also important when it comes to intrapersonal communication. And then self expression, the way we express ourselves authentically. This is all about intrapersonal communication related to self expression. It helps to clarify our thoughts and convey our ideas effectively. Self expression boosts our self confidence and fosters personal growth. So that's they are saying that self expression is something which boosts our self confidence. So it is linked, even this self confidence is also linked to the intrapersonal communication. Decision making. How intrapersonal communication influences the decision making. It aids in making informed decisions. It helps us to weigh the pros and cons of different options. Before doing some work, we have to think whether there are some advantages, pros in the sense advantages, and cons in the sense disadvantages. What type of advantages and disadvantages are there if we take this step? This type of decision making will also be habituated if we follow this intrapersonal communication. When coming to problem solving, intrapersonal communication assists in finding creative solutions to problems. It enables us to think critically and analyze situations from different perspectives. If there's a problem, intrapersonal communication, that is thinking within oneself, communicating with oneself, makes us to solve the problems very dynamically. In the sense, we get the solution with a peace of mind. That is, we will think in very different perspectives if we follow this intrapersonal communication. And how is it affecting the emotional regulation? Emotional regulation, in the sense, uh, how do we regulate our emotions? In the sense, intrapersonal communication helps us. It helps us to understand and regulate our emotions. It helps us to manage our stress, anxiety, and negative emotions effectively. In this busy world, we all will be subjected to stress and anxiety frequently. So, for that, intrapersonal communication helps dynamically to overcome these emotions. And so, self dialogue promotes emotional well being and mental resilience. Mental resilience, in the sense, mental peace. It gives us mental peace if we think on ourselves. In the sense, if we communicate with ourselves, that is intrapersonal communication. And now we'll know the power of intrapersonal communication within the boosting workplace productivity. How is it influencing even in the workplace? End of the day, we all are studying engineering to um, get a job, secure a job in a reputed company. There we will be coming across the colleagues, different colleagues. So to maintain healthy relationships with those colleagues, we have to have strong intrapersonal communication skills. In the same way, according to a report, a whooping 86% of executives and employees have attributed workplace failures to a lack of effective communication and collaboration. The sentence means that how important intrapersonal communication is. See, maximum 86% of executives haven't have subjected to the workplace failures because of lack of communication and collaboration. That is lack of intrapersonal communication. That is why developing intrapersonal communication skills is a game changer for professionals as well. So this is something that professionals have also have to learn in order to become a game changer in their different sectors. And coming to how to cultivate it in our daily life, we have to we have some few tips how to cultivate it in our daily life. So the first one is redirect your natural talent. You have to nourish your natural talent and you have to expose your talent. And we have to take meditation, in the sense we have to give at least a small try of meditation. Meditation gives you a lot of peace. Once if you try, you will be habituated even to that. And making time for self reflection, you have to have some value wherever you go. So for that reason also you have to have self communication, that is intrapersonal communication. You have to keep a journal in the sense you have to habituate writing a diary. Diary writing is mandatory in order to cultivate in the daily life. and whatever has happened all the day long has to be written in a diary. This is also good practice, and we have to cultivate our compassion. We have some passions on different things. We have to cultivate. We have to try to cultivate that compassions, and we have to practice positive self-talk. You should always think positive first and then negative. I mustn't say, I'm not telling that do not ever think about negative things. I'm just telling have positive talk, even you think negative, but positive should suppress the negative one. And the next one is take chances. Opportunities will not be given by others. You have to create your opportunities on your own. And finally, we have consider your goals. You have to consider your goals and work for it. And finally, we have conclusion. Intrapersonal communication is a complex and important aspect of our lives. Yes, it is very important in our life. Navigating our internal dialogues and effectively communicating with ourselves can have a profound impact, a deep impact on our self concept, decision making processes, and emotional well being. As we discussed, in the very busy world like this, we have to have the ability, the skill of intrapersonal communication to overcome the stress, the decision making processes, and these and all will be overcome if you only start to practice this intrapersonal communication. And next, by understanding the nuances of intrapersonal communication and employing various techniques and strategies, we can cultivate self awareness, set meaningful goals, and experience continuous personal growth. This personal growth to be underlined because personal growth in one's life is very important. So for the sake of personal growth, this intrapersonal communication is hugely impacted, and it is hugely important in our daily life. So this is something that one has to inculcate, one has to learn this if he doesn't have. And we have a small quotation here. Mastery of the inner self is an ongoing journey, and by embracing it wholeheartedly, we open ourselves up to the world of possibilities. See, we have to have the idea of inner self. That is, we have to think of within ourselves, we have to discuss, we have to communicate with ourselves what is happening in the journey, and we have to embrace it wholeheartedly. We have to accept everything wholeheartedly, and we this leads to making us open ourselves to the world of possibilities, in the sense world of opportunities. So that is all about conclusion. This is all about the summary of intrapersonal communication. And thank you for listening to my presentation.